I have a question. How do you maintain competency in this business?
Generally people don't lose competency unless you got hit in the head really fucking hard and woke up and forgot who you are. Like, we don't lose competency, but I think what you're trying to ask is, how do I stay consistent?
Yes.
Yeah. So competency is the vast majority of that is the skill portion of success. There's two other levers though, mentality and character. And so often people can demonstrate, hey, I have the skills to get this done. And when they're inconsistent, it reveals that they either lack the mentality or the character to get it done. And so, Masoon's not in this room. I don't know why the not, but probably running something. Masoon's just a kid, right? In my book, he's a fucking baby, but he is a killer. And I love killers. And they're like maybe 5% of the population. If anybody works with them, you can see it in him. I went and fucking did kart racing with him on Monday. He's a killer. He wants to win at everything. And he's willing to fucking give it everything he's got all of the time. So no surprise, a bad week for him is probably what, $2,000, Sammy? I don't know. It's 14, okay. Right? Sammy's the same way. That's a bad week. Not everybody is a killer. I don't know why that's the case. I can't explain that part of it. But it's like some people have a kill switch. Kobe Bryant, Tim Grover talking about Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant called it the dark side. The Seahawks defense adapted that language and called their defense the dark side, where it's this like switch that just turns over. Well, that is largely an aspect of character and mentality. And so some people, they're good when they're good, they're not when they're not. And so then you look at people who are good all the time and you assume they're good all the time because they're good all the time. And it's like, no. They're good all the time because they want to win more than they care about being sick, tired, moody, hungry, emotional, whatever the fuck people get in their own way with. They just have a switch. It's like one of my favorite stories is Michael Jordan in the playoffs. I think it was against the Grizzlies. I can't remember the rookie's name, but he had the flu game. Yeah, so it's a famous game. But the story is what I love about it. For 3 quarters, Michael Jordan's just not Michael Jordan. I think he had like 13 points or like, he just wasn't showing up to the game. And this fucking rookie, it would be like a jam in our business, right? Or maybe a newly promoted leader, starts running his fucking mouth to MJ, one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time, about what's up, bro? What's your problem? I thought you were the best. I thought you were the GOAT. And it fucking lit him up. And he found this other gear. And I might be making these points up, but I believe he put up 40 points in the 4th quarter. He put up 40. Yeah. He put up, like, in basketball, that's insane. For an entire game, that's impressive. He did it in a fucking quarter. And the coach of the Grizzlies benched that fucking player and said something like, let a sleeping dog lie. In other words, what were you doing fucking running your mouth to the best of all time? That's a kill switch. I don't know how to bring that out in everyone. But for me, what I've noticed is people who have it, there's a chip, there's an edge, there's like something, they just want to be one of the greats. Those guys generally are very consistent because they have purpose that drives them. And so the idea of claiming the reason why you didn't get it done today was because I was sick or I was moody or I was emotional or I'm stressed out about this, it's like they wouldn't even think to say that. And they wouldn't let it stop them. There's like an internal override that just says no. No. Love those people. There is an edge to the dark side that can be, I have to help coach and navigate these guys because sometimes they can be their own worst enemy with it. But I prefer that over someone who's like, nah. They're good when they're good, they're bad when they're bad.
Almost like a follow-up as well to that one. I've kind of recognized that more often than not, like you said, the competency doesn't necessarily go away, right? And then more often than not, it's not necessarily like a condition that people go through that necessarily holds them back, but rather it's actually internal. It's an insecurity that kind of holds them back. What would you say is like a good way to be able to recognize and take a firm grip on your own insecurities in order that you can manage them properly to not get in the way of your performance?
So what you're saying isn't strange. It's pretty well documented. Some people have a fear of success. Some have fear of failure, some have fear of success, some people have a very fucking convoluted kind of hybrid. They're afraid of failing, but they're also afraid of succeeding. Fear is the issue here. And so we have to come to grips with fear and move and act as if, despite our fear. And this is in all areas of our life. I don't know how often we let fear hold us back. And so, like, I don't try to deny when I'm afraid, which happens every once in a while, but not as much anymore. But if my kids are afraid, I don't try to tell them to not be afraid. I try to teach them how to move and make decisions despite being afraid. By the way, fear is largely a perception. Danger is real. So we often confuse the two, especially in this day and age, where we will create fear around something that isn't dangerous. And then sometimes we don't have a healthy respect for something that is dangerous. But often the bigger one is that we're afraid of something that isn't actually dangerous. Like a no. No's aren't dangerous. So for my worldview, going back to raising my children while building the business, it's like, am I going to tell my kids that they don't have food because I can't take a no from a random stranger? That or they're going to at least forget about me in about 7 seconds after they say no? Like, that's hilarious to me. Like, what? Yeah, you know how many people melt under the pressure of a no from a random stranger? Like, what are we fucking doing, people? So we got to confront that fear, whatever that is. But more importantly, and this is the most common thing that I see, is if most people were honest. Like, I've had everybody raise their hand who wants to be a millionaire, which in this day and age, I would say that's more like a decamillionaire. Having $1 million in the bank isn't not what it used to be. So we'll say, who wants to be worth $10 million? Everyone in the room raises their hand. Even the fucking Buddhist is doing the math going, yeah, fuck, I can do 10 million, that sounds good. But if we were all really being honest, our internal standard, a lot of us is way lower than 10 mil. So yeah, that sounds great, but most would settle for a number that's way less than that, which is why their life reflects that. One of the harshest truths you'll have to come to is recognizing your life is a reflection of your standards in all areas. You go look at yourself naked in the mirror, your body is a reflection of the standard that you're okay with. We all know this because every one of us will hit a visual space or a number weight-wise in which we are suddenly not okay. And it's different for different people. It's not the same standard, but everyone has that standard. One of my favorite things about wearing custom suits, anyone want to guess?
You have to say the same.
Yeah. I own like probably $40,000 in suits. So my suit is my early warning. Like if I can't fucking get into my suit or my suit is suddenly like, oh, that's a little bit more uncomfortable than it used to be. That's like an early warning sign. Hey, get your shit together, motherfucker. What's going on? What are you doing? So I love custom suits. I was telling this to my buddy who was here speaking on Tuesday, and he goes, I just go buy a new suit. I was like, of course you do. Anyway, but your bank account is whatever your bank account is. It's a reflection of your internal standard, what you are okay with, and different people have different standards that they're okay with. Some people are okay having $0 in their bank account. Some people are not. Well, I know this. Do you know we may say this, but you are literally sitting in a business where you have unlimited earning potential. And I don't mean this to be offensive. We're selling products that everybody fucking uses in locations that literally everybody fucking goes, and we're representing brands that everybody knows. This is not hard sales. You were shadow boxing. You were fighting you. Every one of you motherfuckers have an iPhone in your pocket, probably. Maybe some of you are weird and have a Samsung device, but for everyone else, you all have iPhones. We're slinging a device that everybody wants. Even better, most people want what? The newest fucking version. Right? So it's like, oh, I have the iPhone 14. Oh, no, you don't. We're going to upgrade you to the 7. Perfect. Everybody wants, and then yes, everybody wants to save money. So it's like, hey, let me give you the newest phone and save you money. Hey, translation, let me give you a device you use every day of your fucking life that you're more intimately acquainted with than probably your friends and family, tragically. And let me save you money on that device that you consume every single day. Hey, let me give you cocaine for half the price that you're used to paying. So when people are like, oh, this is hard, I'm like, are you out of your f***ing mind? This is hard? Try selling some shit that nobody uses. The brand that nobody knows. In a location where you're going to see 2 people today. That shit's hard. This is just you getting over you. No means next, baby. No means next.
See, that's once again, that's why, I've kind of arrived at a conclusion. It's like, it's because of some form of insecurity that blocks you from...
It's your story about yourself in the world. Right. It's your programming, which was what Mason was asking about.
Right. It's kind of like, what are some ways to kind of help somebody recognize...
It's super easy, especially if somebody's been trapped in this for a while. Whatever you do naturally, do the fucking opposite. That's where you start with them. So what do I mean by that? Well, normally I would just quit right now, then don't. Normally I'd stop pitching, then don't. Normally I'd go for the soft close or the I'll call you later, then don't. Go for the fucking hard no. Well, normally I wouldn't ask for the sale, then fucking ask for it. Well, normally I'd feel comfortable like I made enough today, then don't. Go double that. Normally I'd be satisfied right now, then don't be. Normally I'd go get lunch right now, then fucking don't. Literally just start doing, if you're not happy with the result you're getting, in those moments of weakness, just do the fucking opposite and ask yourself this question. What would the perfect version of me do? What would the version of me that I aspire to be, what would he do right now? What would she do right now? And then go be that version. Like we feel like, we act like we don't have a choice. That's what amuses me more than anything. The great lie is believing you don't have a choice. That's just the way I am because you choose to be that way. Will it be uncomfortable at first? Yep. Will it feel awkward as fuck? Yep. Will your body and your mind scream at you? Probably. Get the fuck over yourself. Just go do it. I'll make this simple. That isn't landing quite right with everyone. Be like going to the gym for the first time after not going for a long time or of never going. When your trainer is screaming at you to do one more rep, is your body like, oh, this is amazing? No. It's not. In fact, before you meet your trainer and you're walking into the gym and you're walking past people who are walking out sweaty, shredded, and they look good, what do you probably feel? Anxious, insecure. Can I even do this? Now, if we're just listening to our heart, what's our heart telling us right there? Run! This isn't for you. Now the story's stuck. You know what, man? It's just not my genetics. I'm not set up for this. This isn't what I do. Nah, not my family. We're just big boned. It's just, we all die early. It's just what we do. Right? Just crazy, right? Yet that's exactly what people will start to tell themselves. They'll start to create this story that justifies the way they feel, and then they'll lie to themselves into, I'm just following my heart. I'm just doing I'm just honoring what's in you. I'm being authentic to who I am. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. You're being weak is what you're being. Which, welcome to humanity. Right? So we know how this plays out. Going back to this idea of fear, you get the fuck over yourself, right? You get into the gym. Your body's still screaming at you. We just talked about you're getting to that rep that the trainer's screaming at you to do. You don't want to do it, but you do it anyway. And then what's super cool is literally right after your first workout, you look better and you feel better, right? No. In fact, let's be honest. Maybe if you've been in it for a bit, but let's be honest. Most of the time, you feel worse and you don't look any better. And then your trainer doubles down with the punishment and goes, all right, no beer tonight, rice and fucking plain chicken breast. And two things of broccoli. You're like, what? I just worked my ass off. Yep. We're going to make sure those gains stick. So a little bit of rice, some chicken, some fucking broccoli. And you're like, oh my God. So it gets worse. Then you wake up the next morning and you're fucking sore and you're like, holy shit. You're pulling your legs out of bed and you go look in the mirror and of course suddenly you got a six-pack, right? No. You look exactly the same. But we know how the story ends. 30 days in, 60 days in, 90 days. Somewhere in that, it flips. And then you start loving going to the gym. You get anxious if you don't go to the gym, right? You start seeing gains. Your body starts looking better. Suddenly food that you used to eat suddenly is like, ugh, I can't touch that shit. Because you know what it's like to eat clean and to feel good. But it never starts there, which is why this whole thing with emotions fucks people. Emotions are not the grand arbiter of truth. And we live in a world right now that is so obsessed with honoring the way I feel. Get the fuck over yourself.
So how do you communicate that and coach that to somebody?
Just like I just did.
Okay. And if they're not cut for it, they'll find their way.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I try to live my life in such a way in which people are either going to be a strong no or yes. Right? I either wildly turn them off or I wildly turn them on. It's one or the other. And I'm 100% okay with that. I'm not trying to be all things to all people.